first. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order and ask for an approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? So carried. We don't have any patrons. So we're right into old business for you.
Okay. Since I have everybody here, I decided I was going to throw on the three board policy bylaws that we had that are up for a second reading that we've had to table the last couple of meetings. So I would ask for a motion to approve the second reading, the three board bylaws.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? So carried. On to personnel.
All right, next, Kelly has searched for a special education teacher, has done a couple interviews, but had asked if we could go ahead and move Nikki Hendrickson from the instructional assistant to a full-time substitute teacher through the end of this school year and keep that special education teacher position open to try and find a licensed special ed teacher in the coming months or over the summer for next school year. So that's the first one. The second one is Danielle Short, who we interviewed for our school nurse and can start on Monday.
Will we be hiring another instructional assistant?
Not at this point in time.
They can do
Kelly said
meet
that
everything without it.
because Cheyenne had taught 4 classes, Nikki will still do the resource room for the 4 class periods. The other IAs will alternate. I don't know if she's got a schedule for them that they'll cover those other 4 class periods, while Nikki is in the classroom covering the 4 special education classes, 4 classes of Cheyenne.
So we're able to meet all the minutes.
Yes, that was what Kelly had asked, and she's got it detailed in her document that's in there if you need it.
And then Nikki would go back to an IA
Yes,
after that,
yes,
once we hire somebody.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so she will still have a position. It's just she knows that this is just like an interim position for the remainder of the school year. Unless we, or until we get a qualified teacher, but the chances of getting a qualified teacher this time of year is usually pretty difficult, especially in the special education department. So I would ask for a motion to approve those 2.
I have a question on the
Yep.
nursing position. How are they what did they decide to do on that position with the leave and stuff like that?
So Danielle will start on Monday. Kaylee will be there all of next week and at least Monday and Tuesday of the following week, if not the full week. And then Shelby will come back for 1 week before her resignation is complete to do another week of training
So she
with Danielle. Yeah.
Any other questions or discussion? So do we have a motion on the personnel?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Carried.
Next, we have the BTA field trip, which is March 8th through March 10th. So it is an overnight field trip. That was not on the list at the last board meeting, so we needed to get that approved for this one since it is overnight. So I would ask for permission to get that one approved.
Motion to approve the field trip.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
All right, so next is just our work session. So I've got the capital projects list that I created with some different documents. I did print for each of you the 2022 and the 2025 bond expenditure sheets, just because I thought that might be easier while you were looking at the overall budget list. I did meet with Abby and Joe today. I'm glad I did because I missed half of their stuff. I pulled it off of one form, but this other form has a whole lot more on it. So if you look at that capital projects list, you will see that there are additional items up here for 2026 now. These are all what was on the budget workshop in August or has been brought to a board meeting since then for 2026.
So nothing new is what you're essentially saying.
Correct. There's nothing new that I have added on here that has not been either here or on a board meeting. And part of the reason I wanted to make sure that you had these two printouts is because there are a few of these items that have already been purchased. And so, like the wheelchair bus, not the wheelchair bus, the new bus down at the bottom, it's been ordered.
On which sheet are we looking at?
Well, it's on this one right here. So like the new bus replacement, it's been ordered, but it will come out of the help loan. So I tried to help explain where some of these, it is the capital project. Did you find it?
It should be right there, right?
It's its own spreadsheet.
It's the capital projects.
It's
the very
very
first
on
one.
the agenda.
I was on it. It was just on a different, it was on the information one, not the.
Gotcha,
Excel one.
sorry. So those three that we had talked about that, and I think Joe said that the bus has already been ordered or is in some, I can't remember exactly, but it'll come out of the help loan. So that's separate, but I still wanted it on there so you could see that. One of the things, if you look at the 2022 bond sheet, you will see where the demo of the bleachers were done for the 14,000, the demo and install that you had previously voted on to take out of that 22 bond. And then I did the one change, the one thing that is a change is if you see underneath the possibilities on the same worksheet, the cost for concrete is $16,850, which is a little over double what it was before. And here's why. When they came out and looked at the specs and went to, and I don't know why this wasn't caught before, but when they came out, looked at the specs, and because of the wheelchair accessible access, the pad has to be thicker and there has to be more concrete to accommodate that wheelchair accessible ramp that's in the back. So that's why that concrete is pricier than it was. Again, these are all, so in terms of everything, that's one because we've already approved the demolition of the old bleachers and installation of the new. You know, that would be one that, in my opinion, needs to be towards the top, regardless of where we take it out of, in order to be able to finish that project. The bleachers will be here in April. And obviously the concrete's gonna be dependent on weather. So those are kind of the documents I have. Again, I went ahead and copied everything that was on the list from the August budget workshop, even though some of it's on these documents too. I just went ahead and put everything there so you can click if you want. So where do we want to go? What kind of questions do we have?
So I think I had the handout from the January. So does this Excel here replace what you handed out here?
Yes, this is an updated version.
Okay.
And I'm not 100% sure still on some of this stuff at the bottom. Nope, it's not that one. It's on the everything list. Some of this stuff, I haven't got everything switched over to this side. But some of the red, I think everything is still, I tried to replace, because that's where I pulled in what Jeremy had prior, and I think I got everything out that was a duplicate. But I did also ask, my two building principals to kind of put things on there that were some of their top items. It might be a duplicate in the other, but I would tell you for tonight's session on this document, make sure you're using the 5-year plan for the everything list when you're looking at it. Because this has not been, I've not gotten this all updated yet. I was trying to update it on this 5-year plan after talking to Abby and Joe earlier. But this is a place to reference what the building principals feel like kind of are their bigger items in their order of things. So if we're on this 5-year plan one, obviously we want to look at the 26 items first.
What's the total? Is that something you can do in Excel? If
Yep.
it's not listed there.
Some of this stuff has I noticed that there's a baseball shed for $10,000.
Yes, and I'll explain. I've got an update on that too.
Oh, there's already a shed down there.
There's, hold on a second. Let me do this formula. Okay, so that's, everything there's 346,327, not including what's coming out of the help loan. This is just that operations.
So that 346K then was in the budget that we submitted.
Yes, because I took it straight off of what was in the August budget workshop. And I want to make sure, except that my numbers don't match hers, why not? Hers is 234. I wonder if I've got something duplicated. All right, I'm gonna have to double check that real quick. But let me go to the baseball shed. We did have $10,000 into that budget to have a baseball shed built. However, since the construction class was able to build it, they could purchase the supplies and build it for under $5,000. So we still have more than $5,000 left of that baseball shed. Yes, the baseball shed is done, but the thought was to use that remaining money to do a tennis shed since it originally had been for a bus shed. So, and I just found that out today. So let me put that note in here.
Hold on, I want to make a request. Instead of a tennis shed, since there's already a tennis shed out there, I would like to make a request that we do batting cages at the baseball field.
That's your guys' call.
There's no batting cages and there's no lights down at the baseball field. And there's conflicts with, I mean, it's worked out, but baseball needs a batting cages as well. And there's already, I think, a platform that's been poured down there. That's just the sides, the netting is not up.
That's up to you guys.
So I would like to utilize the rest of that money. We found free labor. Somebody has volunteered to donate the labor. We just need the materials to do it.
Do we have any estimates on those materials?
Not yet. We just found out about that.
Because
they thought that-
I would be willing to look at estimates, but I mean, I'm looking at like a backstop net being 75,000. I don't know what a batting cage costs, but I don't know that 5,000 is gonna get us close.
Yeah, I don't know. They thought that they had the netting for it or piece of it, and it was the shot put, I think, in discus, an extra one, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know shot and disc, or the discus net is gonna be replaced this year. The shot put has a permanent
But
fence
baseball
around it,
needs
right,
batting cages as well,
estimate.
because they can't share it with the softball, because softball's got junior high and high school at the same time that baseball's got junior high and high school going on.
You get Joe or Abby to get us an estimate on
Cost on the netting.
the,
That would need.
At least
in the
materials,
list.
not the
Yet
labor,
to
just
be
the materials.
decided.
Right.
we've got so many things we need. So I think we consider it, certainly. I don't want to see us stuck to this list if there are other things that need to be added.
Right.
Yeah, it's up to you
But that
guys.
doesn't mean it's going to rank high on our
I
priority.
just didn't want to see it be put into a tennis shed when there's already a tennis shed
Yeah.
down there and then us lose sight of.
Is the tennis shed not good anymore? I mean, they've had it there for years.
I don't know, that was just when I asked
Yeah.
about
Or
that,
It might
that's
be
what,
bad, I don't know.
What that got. Feel like that was repurposed when it was put there. It's like maybe an ag shed
From
that
somewhere
got
else.
moved to the tennis.
I know it was there when Jody was playing, so
Yeah.
that might have been a few years ago.
I know why my numbers are different, but I can't find it in this document. There were there was this operations budget, but then there was also a list on a separate sheet that had the operations 5-year plan. And so I pulled items that were on this other plan up into the 26, because she had them on 2 separate sheets. So that's why that number doesn't match the one that Joe gave me today or that I pulled from August today, because I combined things together.
So you think the one from August was 200 and,
It was $234,327.
and you're at 346 with adding in kind of the out years.
Say that again?
You're at the 346K there with adding in like 27 or 28 on top of.
Right, this is still just 26 at that 346, because I pulled them off of, just trying to find that. It's in this packet, hold on, let me. I was checking it off on my desk and I didn't pick that one up, I guess. It would be underneath the miscellaneous. There it is. So she had supplied this one, and so like the annual painting, there's 60,000 for painting, furniture and carpet. But if you look at the one that she actually did from the operations budget, it has them in here at $20,000 a piece. Like the classroom carpet, classroom painting, some of these that have stars were already down here. The visitor football bleachers was one thing that was on here that is not on this list, because we ended up taking out part of it out of the bond. And so this stuff was all budgeted, but part of it was here, but then it was broke down. This was the bigger amount and it was broke down over here differently.
So I'm gonna basically just take notes of, what Lisa said. And then my questions really is, if the budget that we submitted, that we're waiting until March to see how much money we're really gonna get. What I care about was, well, what was the number inside that budget? And if it was 234, that's the list we should be working with to understand context of that's what was in the budget. So we can still come back and throw that all out and reprioritize and pick whatever we want, but I start from where were we? What's the real number we're gonna get when we get the money? How does that affect the budget? And then from there, kind of start picking and choosing where we think the priorities of the day. But, so again, Sarah, I'm fine with just writing the question and, we'll circle back to it eventually, but.
Okay, that's fine.
So we were budgeted the 234, not the 340 something?
They both would, it's all of it, is my understanding. That's what I'm looking now to double check to make sure I'm telling you right. But my understanding, it was both of it. It was because one was that.
I don't know how there's $100,000 difference.
Well, because one was showing just operations and it had it actually broke down, but yeah, I'm not sure. That's what I've got to look now, because I'm questioning myself on that too.
Again, we can keep moving and
Yeah,
talk through the
and
list
I'll
and
keep
everything.
looking if you guys want to.
potentially line item differences and where they go in on the budget is kind of what it sounds like. One line item was entered as operations and then projects put in under separate line items.
Mhm.
We do need to clarify the total, what's the total number. That way we know what we're dealing with exactly for the different projects.
And the thought is if the budget gets cut by 300K, maybe the bonds need to make that up for this coming year.
Correct. Instead of pulling from the fund, you reallocate that to bond money to take care of the projects that are high priority.
I don't know that I have. I don't know if I have access to, I'm not sure if it's in this budget packet where it shows, I've got like the reoccurring debt and stuff for the education funds.
Do you have a copy of that 5-year plan?
It's, I mean, my copy, if you want
Yeah, I just.
to look at it.
If you don't mind.
Isn't it a part of this?
It is in there, but if they want to see it broke out, because I deleted some of it.
Do we need to decide what we're gonna use the remaining balance of the 22 on before we start spending the, I mean, shouldn't we get one cleaned up before we, I don't know, I don't understand that part.
I think that kind of plays back to what Randy talked about earlier, to see the shortfalls, potential shortfalls in budget due to the impact of the tax reallocation from, I believe that was Senate Bill 1.
So we're
We
just gonna
could
save
kinda-
this and here's a cushion.
Right, and then once we know all of that, I think we allocate out of the 22 bond first.
Yeah,
But see how that plays into the number of the potential operations shortfall from the budget.
and again, we don't have a chance to take a talk very much as a group, but I view all of our cash balances in education, operation, and rainy day. The 2022 bond and the 2025 bond is all the same amount of money. It's a pot of money. And when we figure out how much money we're really gonna get for 2026, then we have our list of, okay, what type of projects do we wanna go do? And yeah, we go to 2022 first, kind of wipe it out. We go to 2025 or cash again. I view that we kind of bumped up our operations cash balance, thinking we might not get very much money coming in this year. If we get more than expected, then we've got some surplus in that operations budget in my mind. And again, I look at the sum of the three, it's a pretty big number when you add it all up, because we were conservative. But yeah, so in my mind, it's how much money do we think we have on the side? We got to get that number on what we're really going to get for the budget. And then from there, it's just a matter of what's the list of projects and how does the board, what's the number one
What do we want
priority?
to spend it
So
on? But
is-
yeah, because we don't know how much money we're gonna have yet.
Right.
So is that what we're trying to do tonight, is prioritize a list so we have, I mean, what is our goal here, I guess? Sorry, I just feel like we're getting,
Kind of scattered.
I'm
aren't we?
confused. So are we kind of making a list of what we'd like to see if we have money left, which we will have?
Well, we've been asked for money
I know,
every month, and so we've been putting them off until we get a look at all the different things that our school needs. So I think
right,
what we're trying to decide is what we'll actually say yes to and not and say no.
Yeah, prioritize them for us.
yes, so we need to, I guess,
But we
I'm
really can't
confused.
make any decisions until,
No,
We
I
know
know,
how much money
but
we
if we
have.
can get a list like we had last time, even though we may not be able to get all the way down on that list, we'd know what we feel like is the most important.
Where we need to
What
start.
Yeah, but I don't know which, on this operations budget, is this, I guess now I'm confused as to what's already allocated out of this and what's the wish list for the bond,
I added all that up,
because it's
And
kind of all together.
equals your 346.
Yes. That is correct. I just, oh, what do you mean you added? Like on the one on there?
Yeah, versus you said it was,
Two,
it had like the two something.
like this one, the 234? When you added this all up, it came
Well,
to,
not that one, I added the one on the
Yes.
5-year plan.
yes, because I also pulled the stuff off that capital projects. Some of it up at, there in
So
it.
some of that on the other, on the capital projects wasn't on that sheet.
Apparently not. But I don't know, something's not adding up because when I only took them off of that capital projects if it was on here. So not unless my formula is wrong, but I'm looking to see if I can find the budget form here to see what was submitted.
So again,
I was gonna say the
I'll speak
formula's
up
not
and
wrong
try to answer
because
you,
it
Debbie.
added up.
in my
just
mind,
added all
if there
of
was a
those, right?
list of
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
200
Double
or
check
300K
I
of
don't-
items in the
Can I
budget
see
for
that? And I'll
operations.
compare it to, I'll see
Absolutely.
about.
In years past,
So it was that.
if it's over $5,000, it's just a budget holder. And until we come to a board meeting and we vote on what we're really gonna spend it on.
Right.
So knowing how much is there is, to me, more important than knowing what the list of 15 things are. Now, when we start compiling all these lists from all these different views, to me, the list is getting so long, it's hard to wrap my head around. And so it's kind of like, is there some grouping that we can do? And again, just like Lisa brought up, I had no clue on the tennis shed or anything. I think there's some common understanding we can come to on what the thing is and how important it really is that I don't have tonight. But I'm gonna have a hard time prioritizing tonight until I understand the full list and the context
I
of the full
agree.
list.
So my question is, do I need to do that? Do I need Abby and Joe here for a work session?
And it probably wouldn't be a
And
bad idea to
Amy.
have Austin here from an athletic
Yes,
standpoint as
Austin
well.
also.
And I would think your two building principals, if we're talking about which is more important. you know.
Yeah, and that's why I had them kind of do that list, but yeah, if we're gonna need to redo it, we need to have both of them.
And that to me
What?
feels like something that needs to be done after we know the actual,
Right.
Yeah, once we know how much
What the
money, then we
cuts
can
are.
decide how to spend it.
right,
You have-
what is the number?
I'm gonna put dots. You have Joe's maintenance tools on here twice.
Well, that would probably be part of it. How about I just take one of those off?
But that's what I need to
Unless you want
understand, too,
5,000
like
versus
Joe's
25.
maintenance. They have already allocated.
Joe may
Joe
hurt
may
me.
okay.
He may
Is
hurt
it
me for that
something
one.
we, well,
I think it's all
Sorry,
mixed
Joe.
together
right,
to where I don't know what Amy's already planning on versus what it's our wish.
What was that total at
So
the bottom of
maybe
that one?
234, 327.
Does it
Is that-
matter?
That way you
Right.
make that.
Yeah,
So I have a question in case I missed something. What are we doing to senior court for $45,000?
okay, so Abby had, whoever, I can't remember who it is that did our grounds this summer.
Yes.
She had asked them to do a quote for out there at senior court. She goes, we can revamp it, redo it, whatever, and she's not wrong. All of our athletic events, if you go to concessions and stuff, you do see that. And so she was just,
Yeah, not at night.
not at night, but, she was just wanting to have it spruced up some, and her being the buildings and ground person had just gone ahead and asked them to quote it while they were quoting the rest of it. It's something that's higher on her list of wants, but she goes, it doesn't have to be that much. That was just the quote they gave us based on what that
Yeah,
was.
I don't care if it gets redone. I'm just asking like, what was the idea? What are they doing to it?
Well, and I think if we're going to do something like that, that's such a big part of the building. We need to see some plans
And
You
she
need to
has
see-
some, I think.
instead of, I've seen hers. And the problem is teaching, the principals need to see, the principal needs to see them and see, can it be used as an outdoor classroom? can it be, I mean, there's no reason we can't use that as an outdoor classroom. But the plans as they are, there's no room for that. And the maintenance on those plans would take a lot.
There was, they did bring, somebody brought that up very shortly to a meeting at the end of summer last year.
I don't
It was
remember.
very briefly touched on.
Yeah, I think, I'm not against redoing senior court. I think that's a lot of money. And I think that needs input
Yeah,
from
I
more
agree.
people than just what Webb's came up with. And nothing against them,
Right.
but
Well, that,
it needs to be your science teachers looking at it, your principal looking at it. How can we make this your ag teacher, let's make this an outdoor classroom if we're gonna do this.
and it definitely falls into a dollar amount that requires 3 estimates.
Yeah,
And we have
yeah.
to get those on
but we also
heating
need
and
to approve
cooling and all,
plans.
right.
It's kind of like the cafeteria, and suddenly it was presented to us without much input.
Right.
And maybe that's micromanaging, but I'm for it, because
Well, we need
it's
to,
really hard to keep the front flower bed cleaned up.
Debbie
Everybody
likes
wants to-
for micromanaging.
As far as the senior court.
you have to have a set of plans in order to get 3
Yeah.
competitive bids.
Yes,
I
you
mean, otherwise, they can
You're,
be all.
we're
over the
willy-nilly
place.
all over the
Yeah.
place. Nobody's bidding the same thing.
Okay, I think I figured this out.
What else did I duplicate or mess up?
It looks like, so if we go, this is kind of what I'm just thinking. So down on the bottom,
Mhm.
there's a 234, 327 on this sheet.
Yep,
And then there's a reoccurring vendors and expenses that totals 468.11.
okay,
So there's one that's gonna like a one-time expense, and then there's a reoccurring,
yeah,
which if you take out the star, the items that are starred, like the sidewalk replacement, the
Mhm.
webs, the carpet, the classroom carpet, the painting, those like classroom furniture, those look like they're starred for reoccurring.
it's actually the bottom number that,
So if you take out the items that are asterisked or starred, it looks like it, don't quote me, but that's what it looks like, gives us the 234 versus the
and what is that big number down there?
that one's 468.11,
Okay,
but I don't know, that's just what I've come up with.
and I have $100,000 that I didn't put in there yet, so, and I went into Gateway, thought maybe I could see, but I can't. Could see
But
line
with-
by line,
Gets
but,
us to the closer with that reoccurring vendors and expenses versus the one-time fees. And it may adjust since we took out a line as well. Well, food for thought.
Maybe we could just talk through the list tonight and get board member comments on how we understand it and, kind of like the comments on the, doing that senior court area or the shed, and just see where we end up. Maybe that's the most we can do tonight until we go into the budget. I do feel like they're bringing a lot of ideas more rapid than they did 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And maybe we had a throttle on in the past where there's only so much money.
Maybe that's because in the last, I don't know, in the last bond, most of that went towards the athletic building.
Right.
And so there wasn't, as much to go around.
Randy, does this look more like what you're looking for some of this? Like if I look at, like this 3,300 operations here, there's maintenance of grounds, and like it's showing 20,000 there. And I think I would have to go through and figure out the different ones potentially. And I think that's possibly where these account numbers come in. So I can play and see, Amy might have an easier way to have me get to it really quick.
And I think that's kind of what Randy's driving at, is you take the account or the fund number and we add those up and then we see what we actually get as far as the funding goes. And basically, that's just holding a place. It's not that it has to be some specific thing other than it needs to be grounds maintenance or whatever the fund relates to. But the particular projects that you're going to do to that grounds maintenance haven't been
Guess
decided
what?
until we
These
vote.
numbers match in here, so.
Okay. And I think that's, the end goal is to see what the final number is and how much of that do we have to spend. And then you have to
Decide
allocate the
where.
projects
Right.
accordingly.
And then again, my thought is if you have a budget for ground maintenance, $50,000 and you underrun by 15K, that 15K can go wherever you want it to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So again, to me, that's why I say the budget that was approved is just a placeholder. It's dollar values with a list of things that support the dollars. But in the end, it's, okay, where are we really going to spend it? And we're not quite there yet.
I agree.
And again, my only comment on that is, I don't disagree at all. The only thing that I would say is potentially that concrete bid, because the bleachers were already approved and ordered and will be here middle of April. That's the only, and, you know, even if you didn't do it till April, but that's one that I would say that we definitely want to,
Get done.
I
get
don't think that
done,
was probably
so,
an option, like we have to do that, right?
right. I
I
mean,
mean, you
right,
can't just not have the bleachers
You
or not
either
have.
that or have the bleachers set over
And
the
the
grass.
grass.
right. And so
Unassembled.
that's,
And it needs to be
Or
ADA
no
accessories, so we
Yeah.
need to get it done before.
so that's the only one that I would say.
Yeah,
We need to do next month if possible. Other than that, we can, I do know that Joe checked in on that, electrical block for the charging block for the buses. They can't hold it for a long period of time. I can't remember if I haven't forwarded the email to you guys, I will, but they said they could do like 50-50. I did ask how long could they hold it? And they said like until April, and then after that prices were going up. So, or they were afraid prices would go up.
And that was
After April.
the block heater timer, correct?
Yes,
Be able to turn heaters on and
Yeah.
off.
I think we should get that.
My concern is we're coming into spring.
Yeah, but if we're gonna get it next year, otherwise you're just gonna pay more for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get it started to finish it, so.
I don't think Joe would ask for something like that if he really didn't think that it would be beneficial.
Mhm.
We think it's gonna save us a bunch of money.
Yeah,
I just come back to, we don't know how much
I know.
money we have till March, so
Right.
it's getting pretty tight. And again, it's probably a small amount, a worthy thing to go do, but, okay,
It starts adding up.
yeah. It just sets the trend that,
How much was it?
Something for them. I don't know if it's in the paperwork, it's probably in the.
In our notes. from the
Yeah.
last meeting.
I apologize for missing the last meeting, but did Amy have a better read on will we really have a number in March, or is that something that's gonna linger?
I honestly don't know at this moment. She was not here last meeting. And I have not heard that we've received the notice yet. I know it wasn't here for the last meeting. It still had not been put into Gateway.
Okay, well, again, in a perfect world, that's what I'm thinking, but if we need to pull a trigger on something in April, you know, if it's
So the
not
concrete, we might have to.
the concrete and even the battery charger timer or the block heater
The
timer.
block heater thing.
So I don't see it on the
I don't
list
think it's on
anywhere.
here.
was it on the
Did it
one,
not get put on that one?
was it on the one last month?
And it may not have because it was,
I think it was on your agenda for last month. I just
Yes.
remember seeing
Look on
that.
here.
I put it on
But
there.
I don't think it was on the list. It's one of those things that just came out.
Okay, it wasn't on the paper. Okay.
I typed it somewhere today, so I'm not sure where I typed it now at this point. Okay, well, I can look and tell you how much it was.
I believe the expectation is we will know in March what the final cuts come out to be. I don't know that anybody has a date other than they've said in March, so it may or may not be prior to the board meeting, unfortunately.
I don't see on this list, do we have, one of the things I think we ought to look at is the outside of our building.
And that was
The
under
facade.
Yeah.
We still don't have a quote for it.
But can we put it on our list of things we want?
It's right here under possibilities on the go.
It's underneath
2025
one of
go
the,
bond.
yeah, I can put it on the list. There's some of these that are on possibilities on the bonds.
Oh,
It was on the 25 bond, I think. Yeah, but Joe said today when I was talking to him that he's a little frustrated. He's like, I still haven't heard anything back.
it's probably because nobody wants to do it.
And that might be, and I mean, he's reached out, he just can't get an answer back.
And that's been ongoing for quite a while.
Yeah.
I don't even see the backstop on the,
I've seen it
It's somewhere.
Backstop's on this paper.
Possibilities.
2022 bond.
oh, okay, I was looking at the.
Yeah, I was looking in the wrong spot too, what I was looking for.
$11,187 was the.
No, thank you.
The charging box thing.
Good.
I don't know what the proper term for it is.
It's a power sink.
It's like a timer
Power
for
sink
the,
block or something
Block
like that.
heater.
Yeah.
it would save us roughly $6,900 a year in electric.
So it pays for itself. And Joe explained it pretty well.
And off by itself.
What?
11,187. He said it'd save us roughly $6,900 a year in electric.
And that's at today's rate.
Right, right.
So looking at the 2022 list, the last thing on there is the power school. Did you guys talk about that last one too?
Yeah,
It came
was
out
kind
of
of
rainy
discussion.
day. Which is,
So then if you go to the 2025 list, out of the possibilities, maybe start there. We did get quotes on the high school gym AC.
we are in the process of trying to get having a meeting to see if we can get the cost of the engineering services down, because it came back at 70,000 and the attorney thought for the scope of the actual project that seemed a little high.
So I know we decided to go out and get, cost proposals. What's driving that? Is it a matter of timing where we fixed all the other AC and we wanted to do it at the same time? Is it there a big push to go do that? In years past, there wasn't a big push, is what I'm asking.
People have really complained. Volleyball.
On the gym,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so,
the biggest thing is graduation,
Graduation is very uncomfortable.
but then, yeah, all the summer practices
Yes.
is pretty miserable.
And fall
Some
sports when they start. It's like I said, volleyball was really hot.
and is the cafeteria HVAC, is that something that's broken, we need to go fix, or what's driving that one? Just updating it to be
I
correct?
think it's just time for it to be updated. I don't think, I
Wasn't
know that there was
kitchen?
part in the kitchen that was having issues that we already fixed. Because I double checked with Joe today and he said, no, that was in the kitchen. Cause I'm like, did we already do that one? He said, no, it just is needing to be done.
And that's, I believe that's more of an update
Yeah.
based on age of the unit than it is
That is my understanding
a
also.
critical failure or anything at this point.
So again, I'm just gonna, that's the note I'm gonna capture with a
Yep.
question mark, and then when we get everybody back together, Joe can clarify, you know.
Yep.
The paving in front of the building, again, I've lost track the last time we did it, and what's the need there?
Wasn't the last time just kind of a, this will last you a couple of years and then,
That went back to when we discussed and got pricing and repaved the student lot. They sealed the front drive, and at that point, we were told that we had 2 to 3 years left on the asphalt up there, and then it would require a replacement. They wouldn't be able to patch it and seal it any longer.
Instead of strip it down and repave it.
That's what it was a
Just a top
grind down and resurface.
Yes.
It was.
Even the under?
That was my understanding, is that they were taking it down because we had reoccurring potholes and things of that nature, places that were constantly blowing out of it.
and that's been a few years.
It has been.
I had
It
my,
was 2 or 3 years ago.
yeah, I was thinking it was a bigger cost at one point.
Okay.
137 looks low to me, but
Wonder
And
if that was the parking lot too, before we,
I wonder if we didn't see an estimate that had doing the parking
Gravel.
lot and the front at the same time.
I was thinking.
I was gonna say, did they
that
split it
was
apart? Or did
everything
they?
at one time? And it was a huge number.
And
Cause I
then
think we even
took it
added
down.
in the gravel.
Yeah, if we paved the entire gravel section of the student lot, I think may have been in the original number.
Cause I
But
remember I
even-
requested estimate for that one.
Even when he redid the student lot, it was like $58,000 the last time we had it done, wasn't it?
I don't remember the
I
number.
wanna say
I
55,
forget what it
57.
came out of, something else.
But, yeah, wasn't that Brown?
Andy Brown.
Andy Brown, I believe.
I think we were given pretty generous,
I think he was
Right.
good to us, yeah.
which is probably what we're seeing there. That's his quote.
Well, on that one says it was Prim and Sons, is what it says over there on the left.
But that is probably more now. That was a year ago.
Yeah.
I'd be kind of suspicious of going all the way down the earth without, basically.
Right, and I'd have to see the quote to see if that's what they bid, or if it was a simple grind an inch and resurface type situation.
So if we get through all this discussion and then we come back and we say, here's our top 10, we really need some good quotes, probably, or good discussion.
To make decisions, yeah.
And we can either, I mean, you can either decide tonight what you think your top 10 are, and I can go ahead and have them try and get some quotes to bring them back, or we get back together and determine what your top 10 are, and then I can have them get quotes for you.
10 seems kind of unwieldy for this particular meeting.
I don't disagree, because I think if you talk through it and what your opinion is now versus when you have time to digest it all and think through it, it might change, so.
Can we do maybe like a top 3 and then come back later and talk about the rest of them? Or do we
I
just
think you
want
can
to
do however you want.
on the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think you absolutely could come up with a couple or 3 and say,
Well, some of the stuff, like, do we already have a bus, like a new bus that we're,
so the health loan items that are on here,
and
you
like the
don't
new
have.
truck, do we already have that?
Yeah,
So,
So
Yes,
some of these between the 3 lists, I feel like we need to scratch off what's like, what we already have.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
these are all paid.
Yeah, the top part's fine.
All those have already been done.
Oh, duh. I see that.
and I
See that
might,
now.
it's all right, and I might have missed one
I need a highlighter.
Yeah, all those are-
on the list
Oh,
of
duh.
things that have been already done, that's still on the master list. But I thought I got most of them, but I don't know.
So, I mean, there's 1, 2 possibilities over here. 3, 4,
Several
5,
sides
6,
to
7, 8, 9. I mean, there's only 9 possibilities on our 2 sheets here. If, and 10, if you had in the little power school thing there at the end, 20.
Power School's done. I took it, I didn't actually mean to print that part
Yeah, you
No.
scratch
because it was out a rainy day.
So we definitely need the pad for bleachers.
Yes.
Yep.
We,
I'm looking to
do we definitely need the parking lot paved in the front?
No,
No?
I mean, I wouldn't make that
I
a top
think we-
priority.
I think we do.
I think we do. I think it'll be a bigger problem.
Because I think
Down
we're
the
at
road.
the end of the time they gave us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
but-
at the
So
end
then
of
that's
this
not
line.
The time they gave you were the people who were selling it to you.
True.
Yeah, but it's not in the best of
I
shape
think
out
my
there.
number one is the facade. I think we're looking shabby.
I know we are, but we can't, at this point, we can't get any quotes back.
I know. Have to work on that, but.
The one,
The-
the large classroom furniture.
I was just
quote
getting
on
ready to
there,
ask that.
What does that encompass?
Cause I feel like that's in a reoccurring budget.
Right, was that,
Where's
is
the-
that-
It's
Yeah.
on the 25 go
Oh.
bond at the
was
bottom.
that an
It's in
entire
the
building?
reoccurring-
Or,
Recurring budget, but somehow they still have the desks that I taught with when I came to try.
I know, that's what we need to, I
Was
like to
that-
see the difference between that and the reoccurring.
Well, the
Yeah,
reoccurring
I don't know how
furniture on
much
here
was
only
it.
shows 20,000
per
Yeah.
year?
per year.
So
Was this where they were talking about like redoing all the
I
classrooms
felt like it
throughout
was
the
at
entire
least,
district?
at
Was
least
that
the whole
like the
building.
building.
I think they
was
were
that like the
elementary.
cabinets and stuff like that, maybe?
No, I think
No,
it
I
was
think they were
the tables and
desks.
chairs.
Was it
Tables.
this? Okay.
Whatever element, but I think that's kind of has to go to elementary too, to
Yeah, so
decide what they want to look like and.
I think we need clarification on that.
And
one,
Abby-
As to exactly.
Abby
what-
spoke on that one, so that's an Abby one that she
Well-
could explain.
And I think
Again, I
that's-
think you go back to your building principles.
Right. And they have this list and that's why they had chimed in on some of it, but that's where I just think this is great. We can have this conversation, but we need to do it with everybody at the table.
So again, we talked, I think with all the stuff that's going on in their daily lives, if we really want to, focus on a Q&A on what furniture is needed, and I think we'd have to focus on that because, the meetings that happen on Monday sucked up a good portion of the day, if not half the day.
Oh, right. Sorry. I was like, which meeting?
So that's
There
what
was
I mean
one
by,
today too, so,
yeah, that's what I mean
but it
about,
wasn't mine.
that's where their head's at, I think. More than, trying to answer this data call.
Furniture and paint walls and parking lots.
I just want to make sure they're choosing. I mean, to
They
me,
get some input.
they know what they need. We don't.
Now, the good news is if it's on the bond and it's in recurring, if you spend it either place, one time for all the classrooms, you don't have to do that recurring every year. So you're saving money if you do it now instead of one classroom a year, or whatever the plan is.
The only
But
bad
again-
part of that is if you do them all, then they're all going to need replaced at the same time.
But some of them already have been. I mean, some of them have really cool tables.
The good, well, as long as we
Yeah, but
budget
then
for
others
that
have the old-
reoccurring, we
Yes.
just take care of some that
So now
earlier than later.
the good lead-in question is, I asked about what's the total cost in the 2026 budget? What's our available cash flow coming in? And I wrote down what I saw on your list. Again, it's education, operation, rainy day, cash funds, a good size number. There's the 2022 bond balance and the 2025 bond balance, but there's also help loans. And again, the list I saw from January, it was like 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32. So there's a income source on help loans, but it looks like we missed 2028 for some reason. And then I'm remembering Amy saying our next bond we can go after is 2030. So if we lay those cash sources in over time, along with where do we need to spend money over time, trying to buy a thing, like either pavement or classrooms in one big chunk now.
Point at me, the payment.
5 years from now, if you didn't get replace them all, you can plan for that. But the advantage is, and I'm biased, is you get an elementary that looks like a single building,
I agree.
which helps, student and staff, comfort and probably improved instruction.
And
Yeah.
even middle school and high school for that matter too. I mean, it's a,
So you're talking about furniture?
Yeah.
Furniture mainly, but I'll also mention something like we brought up Mr. Duncan, is there is a classroom that smells like cat pee. And again, I know it's been discussed and the feeling as well, it's cats getting to them, to the external air conditioner heaters.
I wasn't aware of that.
But
I felt like, was that the heater that kept leaking or the air conditioner or something? Was that one that the carpet was bad? I
Yeah,
thought we fixed
I
that.
know we did air quality studies.
Yeah.
there was a room that had like some moisture maybe in the carpet that I think was addressed, but
Yeah.
there's still a room that smells. So again, I'm not gonna go smell it.
I'm not aware of that.
I'm kind of curious though, which.
But I thought we had.
I vote
I'll be finding out.
Well, I thought we had fixed that when Duncan was here, like, or
And they'll
something
get-
about that, because we did, like you said, the air quality test, we replaced, I thought, the heater and air, and then we
Well, it
took
sounds
up the
like,
carpet. I thought the carpet had been ripped up or something.
So I've heard, again, my view for a long time has been, how do we update either in the high school, ceiling tiles, rooms, whatever, elementary? So that carpet thing is just an example. We need to just go look at what needs to be done in the elementary and get a good assessment of where it's at.
Well, and that was another question too, was about that when I talked to Amy and Joe, or Abby and Joe today about doing a work session like this one night, but where we actually start with walking through the buildings.
So it's been a couple of years.
Yeah,
since
we've
we
done
did
that before, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Let's see all the paper that we have.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the preschool classrooms, or the preschool restrooms as well, cost with a question mark. I thought that was being paid for.
That was taking down the walls and doing that. That is, no, just where central office used to be in there, taking down those walls, and they have paid to have that floor done so it matches now, because it was bad. It was 3 or 4 different things. But now it matches the cafeteria floor, so now they have this big open space that they use for the kids. The only disadvantage is they have to come out of that classroom to use,
That corner.
the corner restrooms. So it's one of those things that it's not a requirement. It was just, kind of it would be nice.
Gotcha. I couldn't remember
I don't know what it would cost. It's not something we've even looked at. There is a sink in the one room, so I don't know, if there's plumbing for the sink, in theory, you should be able to hook up a restroom in there too. I don't know. It's not something that we had quoted or went that direction unless it was something you guys wanted to do.
I think if there's a restroom right across the hallway, you use that.
Yeah. They just are not able to have infants unless there is a bathroom in there, but that's, they don't have infants now, and I don't know if they would have the space to do it anyways.
And preschool? Maybe I'm missing something. What is our preschool?
What do you mean?
Well, infants don't go to preschool.
No, it's a daycare
Yeah.
type preschool. It's childcare. They call it preschool, and they do preschool, but they do have just the childcare piece of it, from infants up to that daycare price or daycare age in other districts. It's just, we don't have.
I can't imagine there's room in there.
She
Do we
acted
want
like,
infants?
I know it's a lot when they were talking to us about it and what it would take to have infants would be a bunch.
Yeah.
And it's.
and they'd have
So
to
much
set,
staff and.
yeah, you have to have more staff,
Yeah,
and that may be all on
One for
them.
every 5 kids. I
Yes.
think,
You have to have some-
But they couldn't even look at it and
Without the
consider it
restroom.
without having its own dedicated restroom in the
Which is surprising to me because infants aren't going to the restroom. It's the preschool, like the,
Right.
the toddlers.
But you
that
gotta
I'm like,
go
what
to
am I
You gotta
missing?
have diaper changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
But
a
it's
sink
like-
in there. We have a sink, and that's where
It
it's
just
weird.
seems like like, it should be more
And then-
required to have a restroom for the other ones versus
Yeah.
an infant.
So that was I mean, to be honest, ideally, them being located in a different spot in the building or in their own building outside of our building would be the best, or closer to their playground or something. We just don't have the space. So, I mean, and those bathrooms are there. Kelly had worked with them starting last year to make sure that they were not, unless it's an emergency, but they're trying not to they're not taking scheduled breaks during passing periods, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's working. So it's not at the top of,
No, I'd say that's at the
list.
bottom of my list.
This is this part of the service that we provide for teachers here too, right? I mean, they put their kids in that.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's part of the appeal, to come work here, is if you can put your baby or child in daycare here and not have to pay so much going, down the road to Agape, which is insanely expensive and getting more expensive.
Well, there's
Or
just
just the
hardly any, I was
convenience.
gonna say, there's hardly any childcare around anyway. There's a lack of, but yeah. But a lot of schools have gone to it. So the main one that we really need to do do we want to do it can we do it tonight, or is the concrete pad?
I don't know. I mean, we're still technically we didn't amend the agenda. We had adopted or approved the agenda as was. So I don't think we can
approve
we approve it again to amend it?
the concrete. If you're willing to approve the concrete, spinning the concrete, right?
Yeah, I don't know why we couldn't do it tonight, why we would have,
But we would have to amend the agenda. We already
It's
approved the
not-
agenda. Does it matter?
It's not, because we need to, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I'm mumbling.
or we can wait till March. I just didn't know, since it's
There has to be an agenda item in order for us to have a motion on it.
Yes.
Which is just, 2 weeks or whatever away, so
Yeah.
not that long.
Yeah.
Can't pour cement yet anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know, they were doing that on State Road 3
I know
the
they
other
were,
day.
but I know. We'll see how that holds up.
That's,
I was shocked, and it
What
was
are we doing
cold
then?
that
Oh, I
day.
know.
I was like, holy cow.
So do you guys want to look at these and kind of decide what you think your top 10 are out of these? And then we set up another session to come back where we've got all of our people at the table, we do a walkthrough, and then come back with what everybody's, and then kind of go from there? Or do we want to narrow down a few more of what you guys feel like are the top tonight, and then I can
I really,
check with those?
my opinion, I don't feel like we have everybody's opinion on these lists to come up with a top 10.
right.
Like, I don't feel
Okay,
like,
but-
I don't feel like Austin has had,
Yeah,
I
we
feel
don't
like
have any user input at all.
Yeah,
Like,
how critical is the need
Yeah,
well,
type
and it's,
situation?
well, but my thing too, I'd also like to see Austin and his opinion, like he needs to be able to get with his staff to see what's needed. He may know, but like, hey, varsity coaches, what, as far as, besides your regular,
Right, honestly, the only two
Like-
things on here that kind of fall a little bit under the athletic title would be the locker room floors and walls and the softball field backstop. And
Yeah.
that's the only two items on there. I'm sure there's other needs.
And then we did the track reseal.
Yeah,
On that
that's coming up, what, for 27? Is that what I seen?
You're right, 27.
What locker rooms, we talking about all of them?
I
the-
assume
probably the high
they're talking
schools.
about the ones attached to the gym.
cause that's, when we did our last
Yeah,
tour,
'cause
we looked
the
at both of
floors are
those. and-
cracked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty.
But I would like to see that list, I guess, full with everybody on it instead of,
And I think
That's
you
my
used to have the
opinion.
only one I didn't have, so. I will make sure I've got his added to it.
Honestly, probably either this summer or this fall, we need to get the quote for the track reseal. I mean, if that's coming up in 27, which there are some spots in it that are down to asphalt, so we need to take care of that so it doesn't end up being
A
Center-
bigger
center
problem.
again?
problem, yeah.
That, again,
We need to have some home track meets.
You know, we do need that as well.
What, did we have one last year?
We had one last year. I think it's either 2 or 3 with the revolving schedule.
So with the year
And
thing, is that when they're
Getting
wanting
some
to do this?
consistency there in the head coaching and AD spot will help.
Like if you look down here, like 27, like,
It's been the hardest thing about
one?
hosting a home track meet is the number of people it takes to do it and
The
getting those
5-year
people
plan.
lined up.
that's the one you told me to go to. 100%.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm just
If
kidding.
you go to the capital project.
I found
yeah, I think we gotta look at multiple years, because if we spend all the 2026 money and then we're tight in 2027, something doesn't get done in 2027, maybe there's something more important in 2027 than what we,
Mhm.
you know, how currently at pigeonhole for 2026.
Yeah, I really feel like 3 to 5 is what you've got to be looking ahead. I mean, the 3 years is going to be here quicker than you think, and 5, you better be planning for.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Kind of coming back to what Jonathan, I think, said was, 10 sounds like too much.
Yeah.
And since it's your idea, we need to maybe just focus on near term emergencies and maybe, you know, pick 2 or 3 from there for our next discussion. But I'm just gonna keep blaming you.
Oh, thanks.
So when I go, before I gather more information and we come back, with hearing that conversation, when I meet with Addie and Joe and Austin, and my building administrators, I will see if there's anything that they could see for 27 or 28 potentially, that are big ticket items that they might foresee being a need, that aren't on this list, something that's come up. I mean, some of it's going to be pretty obvious. I mean, they've already planned out some of the stuff that they know, but is there something that, you know, that's starting to limp along now type thing? And it's like, okay, we're gonna have to do this before. And I'm not sure if it's on here, but I think, I can go back and look, but I think our copy machine renewal is gonna be coming up sooner than later.
Do you know how often that is done?
I don't,
Because I feel like they just did it, because I remember.
3 years, 5 years, maybe?
Because I remember us,
But I thought they told me it was 27 or 28, but it's not on there.
talking about that, on the last one, as far as deciding which one to go with, because there was, who are we with now? I can't remember, because it was between that one and the Rico, because, but, yeah. But, yeah.
I think it would be funny is to go around the room and see what everyone's number 1 is and just see how different we all are.
It's up to you guys.
I bet we're all on different spots.
But it depends on the price tag. Like, is there a small price tag or is there a big price tag? Like,
Well, and how many,
because I got a big price tag that's not on the list.
you know, how many kids does it
Are
involve?
you talking about a new
Right.
football practice room, building? What are you talking about? New weight room?
I'm not, that's
We need a new weight room, we need oxygen, we need oxygen bad.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
And our weight room's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I want to move to ground level.
It looks exactly the same as it did when we were here.
That is just it.
Yeah, no, I was really wanting it to get moved
Is it?
to the shop class.
That's
I
what I
don't
think
want
we
the
use
weight room to get moved to, but it needs
the
to.
room that's behind it, we just had.
Honestly, like, I will say that is something as far as if we're talking the ADA stuff, like the weight room does need to be down on ground level at some point.
Yeah, and we talked about that.
Cause there's no way for, yeah. But where again, where are you gonna put it? I mean, I have an idea, it
Once you
just,
go first.
I would like to turn senior court into weight room, but.
All right, my
in case
number
you
one
shot
is
me down on
classroom.
that.
So let's go around real quick, because again, it won't be, I think it'll be helpful. So
My number one would be new classroom furniture. Anybody else want to share?
Lisa?
So I mean, but do we know that, like, the bleacher thing, the concrete, like, do we have to say that's number one? Because,
No, we've already
Okay.
decided that
Okay.
it's
So
a
that was
done
out.
deal.
That's in the works.
okay,
I think we'll approve that next time we meet.
Are we thinking realistic or dream?
yeah, yeah.
I'm going off what's off the list.
Oh, we have to use the list.
It's a tough question.
I'd like to see air conditioning in the gym.
I think air conditioning in the gym.
I would like that too.
I like the bus
That's
barn
close number
idea
two.
because
I like the
having
bus barn idea.
the buses under roof is gonna allow them to last longer.
I like the bus barn idea too.
So I would counter that with, for 50 years, we've not had them under roof and we've survived. And I'm more interested in instructional improvement, which kind of leans into more towards the education funding and get more efficient on any of the capital expenses or other.
And I'm not
operations.
against that either. You just asked for the number one, so
Yeah.
that was my thought on number one.
Again,
But yeah,
very
But that's-
valid, and I'm just.
Yeah.
That's why I like the
Nope.
group that we have, because you get from an educational and an athletic standpoint, we're seeing views on both sides that,
Mhm, yeah.
that you may not see on an athletic side, I may not see on an education side, and that's why I like getting everybody's, I feel like we're well diverse
And I guess-
in
Yeah, but
priorities.
just because it's worked for 50 years doesn't mean we can't improve it.
Well, and I guess
And not really the bus barn, but like the weight room. Yeah, that the weight room's worked great for 50 years. You go to any other school, that's a joke. It's embarrassing. Like every other school has way nicer stuff. And I don't mean big schools.
And I feel like I know some of the stuff that Joe has to deal with working with the buses and out in the open, and so just some of that
Seriously.
pieces, and it
Yeah.
would, potentially open up some storage space if we were able to move some stuff over there that are in here. Would it open up enough space for a weight room area? I don't know. I just, in terms of big ticket projects,
But do you
But also-
know, and I don't know off the top of my head, at one point, are they working on any of the buses
Smell like
in
cat
the
food,
garages
sit in an old
that
crusty
are back
desk.
there
Yeah,
currently?
one.
Like,
What the goodness, we gotta pick more than one.
by the elementary,
Yeah.
like some of the.
So I can
garage
pick
doors,
mine
think
and
one
still
is
agree
Mr.
with
Burger's.
maybe everybody in
But
there.
I don't know.
Is
I
any
don't
of
know that they
those,
pull in the whole way. There is one that's a small, that's like a maintenance area,
But
but
it's
they've
like,
got,
tools and stuff like
But
that.
yeah,
I think there's a
mowers,
lawnmower,
yeah.
one, so that big. So it would free up at least that one, but is that accessible from the inside
I
or?
don't, I think so, but I don't remember.
Yeah, that's,
I think it's through the
Because-
ag shop. maybe.
because like that could, if that was accessible from the inside, if you built the bus barn, then that would open up like potentially like a classroom or something
Potentially, I
where
don't
you
remember
could,
how big it
in
is,
one of
but
those
yeah.
two rooms, maybe you could consolidate some, I don't know, but you could make an educational piece if you built the bus barn, because I know when we originally talked, he had talked about doing a mechanics
Mhm.
class or shop or for diesel or something.
And that would be what would put me at my number one, it would be bus barn or classroom furniture, and they're about equal. If we could go with the educational side, if there was a plan in place to make that educational, that would probably bump bus barn to number one for me. It would preserve our buses, lower our maintenance costs, but they have a place to do things such as headlights, windshield wipers, small
Change the
things,
Oil changes.
you know,
As long as Joe's here.
right.
Yeah, we have to
Or
keep Joe.
someone that has, we have to make that a piece of the education process to where
Have
it's
a plan for
utilized
that.
that way. If it's simply a building to park the buses under, I've got to move it off my number one
Yeah.
spot.
I agree. I agree.
And it included the, sorry,
It had a workshop.
It had a closed workshop.
Yes.
Right, with a door.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. But it was a gravel floor.
For the bus parking. Now, I believe
I think
The,
the shop had
It
concrete
did.
floor,
The
but the
shop.
bus parking, I think,
Right.
was gravel.
Okay.
But where
because I
they
told him to
were,
get a
Both of
quote
them.
with
Yeah.
1 and 2 bays in there, but it would be concrete.
It's been a minute since I've looked at it.
Yeah, and there were several different proposals at that point on
Yeah.
exactly how far we were gonna go and what was gonna be done, but I personally feel like if we can make it educational, that leads to a few other possibilities
Yeah,
as far
I
as
agree.
some of the vocational money that you're allotted for that and lower maintenance costs. And, but as far as on the list, the bus barn and classroom furniture would be pretty much neck and neck. Followed shortly by the facade of the building. I like that one as well, but we have no idea what
I know
the
that
cost
cost,
would be.
but I think that we've got to address it.
Right.
I mean, it's,
At a bare minimum, it's gonna have to be painted. If we're not gonna cover it, it's gotta be
yeah, we
painted.
gotta
on
do
there.
something.
I would like to, I mean, we only have one estimate that's a year old on the concrete. We gotta get another.
On the paving, you
Oh,
mean?
yeah, that's what I meant. I'm
Okay.
sorry. With the
maybe,
blacktop.
why don't you see if Joe can get like 3 quotes on that concrete pad before the next
Okay.
meeting?
I think he tried, and I think this was the cheapest one.
And it's Jason Williams, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is who he wanted. That's,
Yeah,
Um,
but I was thinking, do you remember?
he had approached someone else and they had not been here.
The
Didn't count.
initial cost didn't include the ADA stuff. It was basically just a 4-inch square to fit the bleachers on. Because I know that is
Who did the-
significantly higher.
Who did the concrete pad down at the baseball field that, for the ADA stuff?
I believe that was Jason.
I think it was too.
think
Done
so.
that and like around the back of the
Yeah.
softball field with
There's
things.
several things he's done, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I was thinking maybe a different company, but
There was a different company down there, but we don't want them back. I don't remember the name, but there were lots of problems with that.
And that may have been during the build.
I think
when
it was during the
athletic building
build.
was
I think it
built.
was during the build.
I'm kind of remembering a discussion about high school switching over to Promethean boards.
That's, was one thing I was gonna say, I'd like to see is
So-
along with classrooms. We've got them in the.
Kelly
elementary.
is in the process, she sent an email out today asking how many want them. We just did a walkthrough, well, I didn't, Eric did, a walkthrough, and we have a list of what every classroom has, whether they have Promethean boards, projectors, whatever they have for every building, or every room in K through 12 in the building. What, Eric, was it 3 or 4 that grant I wrote would cover? Do you remember? Was it 4? Okay. So I've got 4 already that we can order, which isn't a lot.
It's 4 more we have.
But it's 4 more than we have.
Well, we
yeah.
have them in all the elementary, don't we?
Yes, other than
The last
PE or library were the only 2 that, that Emily had, because I told them, I told both of them, let me know where you want them, and Emily said, she still would like those there at some point, which is fine, but then I know at the high school we didn't have as much, but she wasn't sure how many who would or wouldn't want them, so she was sending an email out to get that information.
Gosh, that'd be wonderful in the science building, the science, stuff, in everywhere.
Eric, do
I
you
guess I
remember,
think.
do any of them, I thought a few had them, or did you have to take it from,
There's 4 currently in the high school, middle school that have them.
okay, I couldn't remember, I thought there were a few of them, so,
there's 4 up here, 4 more coming.
yes.
And there's, how many classrooms? 16 or no, 30?
We are not at half. Correct? If you remember correctly, it was less than half that had them in it at this moment. I don't remember how many.
How many total classrooms?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's like 32. I don't remember
I'll
what
tell
the
you.
combined was, or just the high school. But that could be, I mean, that is also something that would, I think is nowhere near as expensive as, you know, AC in the gym.
A bus barn or air conditioner.
Right, you know,
Gymnasium,
because I
yeah.
think we did the elementary school for, wasn't it like
I was thinking it was
$58,000?
more than that, but.
They're a lot more expensive than they were.
But even if we didn't get all of them, if we could get a good.
But I just
start.
don't, I want you to know it's not gonna be that number to do everybody.
We got them about half price less. So that usually would have been about $100,000, but we got them half price because they were honestly lower quality and had less, rain and storage.
Has that been a problem?
Yes, yes, it has.
I missed that. What was the problem?
So the ones that were purchased with 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is extremely low.
Oh,
So,
yeah, the new ones have 8.
So a lot of the teachers complain they can't have more than 2 to 3 applications open at once. So if they're trying to multitask with the students, it becomes very difficult. The apps start to lag and they start to close down and they can't really do stuff.
Is the RAM upgradable?
Yes, yeah, we can purchase all the modules and the ones that we purchased are all interchangeable. So we can purchase new ones if we need to. They do standardize at 8 gigabytes now instead of 4. So we could purchase new units if we need to just replace that.
Do you know off the top of your head how much that is, or?
That would be,
Well, computers RAM is like $200-300.
I had too much technology.
one of those modules alone is $250.
Yeah.
250 each.
Which isn't terrible.
Mm-mm.
That's actually pretty good.
That's the whole operating system
Yeah.
with the upgraded RAM.
And that would take it from 4 to 8.
Yes.
So it still sounds like we did okay if we got
Yeah,
50%
about half
off
price.
Yeah.
original boards.
But it's definitely something that we
say
might want to
50,000
add
Yeah.
to the wish
It's
list.
$50,000.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Is that something you can, well, he just told us to show us, so.
And I'm testing out a different board as well here in a couple of weeks, based off the conversations that I had in Colorado. But really, we're still looking at the Prometheans if we want to keep consistency across the board. But there is a new panel that's out that could be cheaper and better for our staff. It really just depends. I need to test it out.
And so maybe my thought on that would be, since we've already got almost everybody at the elementary set up for Promethean board, do we, if we like the other one, do we kind of look at those 4 Promethean boards that are at the high school, allowing 2 of them to go to the 2 spots that Emily wanted? I don't know, use them a couple other places up here or something, 1 in here, whatever, because I like the Promethean board better than this one, but, and maybe look at then K through 12 or 6 through 12 being consistent, even though it's different depending on what the price is on the others. Just a thought. I mean, it's something we could think about when we look at this. This is the one I was looking for. So here is
Have
this.
you
spreadsheet.
used one, or has anybody around here used one, like the 8 RAM or whatever you call it? Versus like, and actually use it to see like how many things you could have open?
So that's what Music and Art has, is an 8 gigabyte one, the one that she wrote the grant
Yes,
for.
yes, she does. So I'd have to look at it.
So we at least have one in the building that we could.
Yeah, the newest
see
one
if
that
it-
Natasha Hamilton got, that one is an 8 gigabyte. That one's fully updated to everything.
Gotcha, okay.
Then if you're just gonna update the elementary at 250 each, that's under 5K total. So that would be back, it really wouldn't be us if we didn't want it to be.
Could be half the price.
I just shared this list with you guys. If you want to be able to see it, you have access to view it now. It shows all the board or all the room numbers, and then what they actually have in them. So your classrooms of about 40 is going to be just the high school, close to 40 just in the high school. Maybe, because it looks like we're skipping some numbers, but some of those are double.
We skipped the workshop. And the
Yeah.
action and a couple of them here and there, but that's.
But yeah,
Okay, so.
what was your top? Did you?
Oh, I picked too many.
So she
I
agreed
have
with
to tell my
everybody.
Jonathan.
Oh, okay. Do we want to look at calendars for when you guys are all available? Or do we want to wait and see
When we get the
when we get the,
notice.
And we have a
I
number
mean,
of dollars, you mean?
yeah, when we
I
get,
don't necessarily want us to get behind, but at the same time, I don't think it's very fruitful to have another discussion.
I mean, I
until we
could
know
go
what the
ahead and
number is.
tentatively, we could tentatively look on our, here and decide if we wanted to schedule it like the week before spring break. And then if we don't have, I mean, we'll know more or start, and we actually could adjourn the meeting and then just determine what days everybody's available that last week. And then at the next meeting, figure out if we've got stuff coming back yet or not. And
Well, because I feel like we almost need to kind of set a tentative date so we know when we need
Yeah.
that information back from
It's true.
everybody. We Gotta
Mhm.
set a date so we can,
well,
Pretend
and
to-
we don't want to,
we don't want to be like, hey, like,
Yeah.
a couple months later down the road, we still don't have a list, just anything. And
so the week of the 23rd of March, are there any days, evenings that do not work for people?
27th, I won't be.
Well, we're not gonna do it on Friday night anyway.
I'm only available on the 23rd and 24th.
Of March.
Yeah,
I mean, that week.
I'm fine either.
That's
Spring break starts at the end of that week.
27.
Yeah. Well, probably actually not really till Monday, does it? Friday, probably supposed to be in school.
Leaving Monday. Or
Listen,
even Friday. Regardless of when break
I'm
starts.
feeling we're all gonna get sick Thursday.
Some flu going around, right?
Yeah.
does the 23rd and 24th work for everybody for a 6 o'clock meeting?
I'm open on those 2 evenings.
I-
Okay, so can you
Yeah.
go ahead and block your calendars for 6 PM meeting, both nights, and then I will check with everybody else and see what night we can narrow it down to.
You said 6.
Yes, because I don't think you guys can get her earlier, can you?
It's awful tough.
Okay, that's
I
what
mean,
I
if
thought.
it has to be, then I can do my best.
Those dates are if we know the money, or is that regardless?
I think it's if we know the money, unless, I mean, to me, because
There's no sense to do this again.
no, because I can gather the information from the other people and add it, compile it and add it to this and share it out to you to look at.
I think Misty would love.
I'd say the backup plan then would be the first
You would
week of
want,
April.
what would I love?
Ahead
It
of
comes to another
the next
one.
board meeting.
Oh, yeah, we can have 3. I don't care.
Yeah, but I don't know if it would, I mean. I don't know. I just don't know when it'll be back.
All I'm saying is block out the 23rd and whatever you said,
And then do the,
but assuming we don't know anything on March 23rd,
Yeah,
then
let's not do this again.
let's wait till the first week of April, hopefully before the next board meeting.
correct.
And then at least we can get the top 2, whatever those.
So are you asking to go ahead and tentatively set those or for that first week of April or wait?
A tentative plan that if we don't meet in March, we'll try to do it the first week of April, so we all come together on the second week of April and then figure out where we need to figure a week delay to announce something, That's
So
all.
what does everybody's schedule look like on the week of April 6th? If we had to meet that week?
That's spring break week, right?
No,
The
it's the week
week
after.
I have nothing.
The 6th or the what?
That week. I can't do Wednesday nights. I have class at 5:30.
I can't do the 7th or the 8th.
I can't do the 6th.
Ninth,
Right?
9th work for everybody?
I didn't
this
do it.
minute.
I'm still getting to the calendar.
Jonathan?
I don't have my big calendar with me. I don't know about the ninth.
my goodness. The sixth doesn't work,
We may
but
have to eat
the rest
nationals.
of
I
that
don't
week,
know.
I'm okay.
It's in April sometime. I'm not
I'll
that far
send this
along.
out to everybody too. I could send
Oh, no.
emails.
So
we
we're
good.
blocking 3 nights off.
Yeah,
Okay.
so 6 PM on the 23rd, 24th of March and April 9th.
And I won't be here Tuesday night. The beach is calling my name.
But we do need to ask a
Oh,
motion to adjourn
Yeah.
the meeting because we are in
Motion
a
to
meeting.
adjourn?
She has to
Next
ask
week.
for
Oh,
it first.
you have to ask it. Go ahead.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
I wanna
Thank
vote
you.
no.
I'm
Thank you
taking
very
Kristen's
much.
place. You guys remember that?